I did a lot of jobs while I was trying to find my place or whatever. I didn't know about games. I didn't have a guidance counselor that in high school that said, hey, you can play games like or poker. Nothing, anything. I didn't even know. It was in college when I was playing gin, backgammon, rummy, any game, whatever. Poker, we had all the different nights. This is the best thing ever. Like I didn't need to have like a little parking garage job or something like that because I was making a little income. But I thought that income was just, to get book money and food money, pizza money. Years went by. I lost my voice right there. Years went by where like no one tells you. You have to discover it by randomly. I was just an engineer first, and I remember I accidentally saw a bunch of people playing backgammon in a restaurant. It was just happenstance. I'd never been to that restaurant, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I was like, because I had played backgammon with one person once a week, maybe in college, for like 25 cents a point or something. And these people were like playing for, $5, $10, $20 a point. And I'm like watching them play, and I'm like, "Oh, wow, that doesn't seem like the right play." And I had my own thoughts about the game. And so then from that, then you discover poker. Like once you're in the gambling thing, people talk about other gambling stuff. Then you learn about sports betting stuff. When I wasn't really into sports betting, so I never went that way. But you just learn from what other people.
And how did the transition to poker happen? Like I know you were playing pool as well. A lot.
No, the pool it was funny because I was actually at a backgammon club in New York. I had decided from that little weird little moment where I discovered that there was a backgammon community that even existed. I didn't even know that existed. One thing led to another, and somebody basically, I think that whenever I went on trips or something, I would end up in New York as a hub place, and I quickly learned that New York was the epicenter of the world for like high stakes backgammon action. You had lawyers, Wall Street guys, whatever. There were clubs. It was like a kind of a much more regular community. And a friend of mine just moved to New York to do Wall Street stuff, so I kind of meandered out there. But I never left really. There was the Mayfair Club at that time, and a friend of mine, Chuck, who was running the backgammon club, kept trying to get me to go to the Mayfair to play poker. He says, you don't have to be a wizard. You don't have to play the big game. You could just immediately start beating these small games. But remember, all the games that I had played before were all kitchen games, like 44, Between the Sheets, Crisscross, Black Mariah, all the random things in our little college games. Like I would call it kitchen poker. And the stakes were always like, max bet $1, maybe even it was max bet 50 cents, 10, 25. It was all small stuff. So I knew that at the Mayfair, they played No Limit Texas Hold'em or like formatted game, and I didn't even know what they were. Like I didn't even know the rules of the game. So while I was at the Backgammon Club, there was a book there. There was a couple of books, like a little mini pathetic gambling library of books left behind by other whatever. So there was, I think it was Lee Jones's book on Limit Hold'em, and I said, I've heard the word Hold'em down there. So I read that book while I was playing backgammon, and one day many days Charlie was like, you gotta come. And he found out that I liked pool. This was why it happened. Charlie found out I liked pool. And he said, Phil, they have a pool table that no one uses ever at the Mayfair. People are just degenning out. I'm like, that's impossible because it's $10 to $14 an hour. Everyone knows anywhere in New York to play pool. Unless you're very good, you can go to the little bars and then you find a partner and then you wait for your turn. And if you win the game, then you get to play the next game. It's dicey because my skill set is not exemplary. And I never had a partner. Once in San Francisco, I had a guy that was very good. We could own those little areas. But mostly in New York, if you wanted to play pool, you didn't say I'm going to go down and play at the local pool hall and put my dollar up and play the winner thing. Because you have to be so good to get your pool fix there. There's people that are also like you that are a lot better and they're not going to lose to. So I was okay paying the $10 to $14 an hour, but on a budget. And he said, it's free. I'm like, come on, no, there's no way. And I went down, I was like, oh my God, it was a glorious, perfect felt, perfect slate, perfect everything, perfect conditions. No one was playing. I was like, this is insane. So I'll just practice and practice. So like, this is so much fun. And one day, Charlie said he was going to leave. Promise we're leaving at 2. And now it was like 2:30, 3, 4. And, you know, we lived right near each other. So I was going to keep waiting. But it was kind of getting frustrated. I realized, oh, he's in a degen mode and he's not going to break away. And so I kind of stood over him to watch. And thank God, I thank you, Charlie. Because somehow in my body I was resisting the whole poker game thing. But when I saw this one hand, and I saw, it was like, I'll never forget, a guy basically called in the river for $3,000 into like, I mean, it was maybe like 5,000 in the pot. The guy bet 3,000, the winning hand. It was like ace, king, jack, 9, deuce. This guy with 4 overcards called 3,000 cold hard cash. This is in when was it? It was 2000 or 1999, I guess. It was 1999, and I watched this guy call 3 dimes with pocket. I was like, I just knew. I didn't know anything about poker, but I knew that guy probably burns off a lot of money if he's making that play. And on the way home, I was like, Charlie, what was the deal with that pocket, whatever? And he said, oh, that guy, that's why the games are there. There's guys like that. And he named off a couple other guys and a couple other plays. You should have seen this one guy. He thought, he called with king. They don't know. And then I was like, half thinking he's BSing me because he's been trying, you know. But half, I saw that pocket 4 hand. That was real money. It was like, yeah, he owns a couple of restaurants and he goes into the till and he goes down. He takes money. It was just funny stories where he would go into the restaurant and just take money from the cash machine and just go to the poker game. And they were like always getting mad at him because even though you own the restaurant, you're not supposed to just empty the register and go gamble. But we had guys like that. And so out of the gate, I was not a sophisticated no-limit hold'em player. I was a paranoid Barry. These guys must all be great. They've been playing. Look, that guy's like 60. He must have been playing for 40 years. I just figured if you've been at it for that long, you're going to be so good. So I kind of came in, played like a nit. And the first 20 minutes, my intentions were not pure. I apologize to the poker gods, but my first 20 minutes of poker was all about the money. I was in there to make money. And within 20 minutes, I was like, oh, this is fun. This is cool. I get it. I kind of understood. You don't have to punish yourself. You can fold a lot. You can wait for spots. And I don't know, minute 21, I was hooked. And my ratio of backgammon to poker kind of flip-flopped almost within a week's time. I was just knowing where all the little games were and, oh, you had to get there. And I remember at the Diamond Club in 2000, if they had a game and they said the game starting at 7, get there by 6:30, it took me like 1 or 2 sessions before I learned, oh, you get there at 6:15 religiously. Like, you get there because when they fill up that table, this isn't 2017 where, oh, open another table. These were the guys you were going to sit with till 2 a.m. I would show up on my little mountain bike, lock it up, get there at 6:15, watch the people come in, have my seat. Like I thought it was just too risky to show up at 6:40, you know? Yeah, you might get, you know, but it just takes that one time where you don't get a seat and you're going, oh my God. And then like Restaurant Harry or whatever is dumping and you're like, oh my God, like, what's that half an hour worth that I was watching tennis at the house when I could have just pedaled down here, you know?